YouTube, what it do, man? This is gonna be more of a real video. This is not gonna be me venting or complaining, but it was just a realization I had the other day, bro. And the realization was I did not think I was gonna be alive this long. I was at my friend's show. He was talking on stage, and he talked about probably ending himself at some point. He thought he had those thoughts, he had those feelings, and I'm glad he didn't do it. I'm glad he didn't do it. For real. I mean, he's a good dude. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, dang, this hits. I was trying to figure out why does this hit so hard? And it's because I never imagined myself being a 34-year-old male. If you knew me when I was 20, 19, 16, all the way to maybe like 22, 23, I had a run where I would throw my life away. And it's not because I didn't think it was valuable or anything, but I didn't understand everything that life had to offer. I didn't understand a whole bunch of stuff. I hadn't seen anything outside of Atlanta. I hadn't been in a situation where I had any type of abundance. You know, there were winters where we did not have any heat. My window was cracked from somebody breaking in. It wasn't able to get replaced. I put tape over it for a long time, and it was cold. It used to be cold. You used to have two, three covers in the room. There were times I had to stay with my friends' families. I appreciate Miss Kimbrough for letting me do that. Appreciate my auntie for letting me stay over there. Appreciate my other auntie for buying me like white tees, black tees. We used to wear the tall tees back in Atlanta. If you know, you know. But I never thought I would live this long, bro. So I never really had a long term plan. I never really thought about the future. I always just thought about my idea at that moment. So when I was a teenager, I would throw parties, and my idea was let me throw parties so that this guy doesn't have a monopoly. I want to introduce some competition. I was always an entrepreneur minded person, but I was never a person that would think long into the future. I just look at what's in front of me and I just do what's in front of me. And it landed me in some pretty good positions. I can't lie. It landed me in some real good positions. But I didn't even understand the positions I was landing in. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't. So when I like had the opportunity to do like commercial real estate, a guy was like, "Hey, yeah, I make X amount of dollars a year. I'll teach you if you want to learn. You could be my intern or something." Bro, I had no idea. I just told him, "Okay, cool. Like I'll let you know." Never hit him up. Why? I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what that was. Could have been a multimillionaire by now, bro. Now looking back at it, could have been a multimillionaire. That dude was gonna change my life. I didn't even know it because I couldn't even recognize an opportunity when I saw it. If it wasn't in a specific context, I wasn't gonna be able to recognize it. There were times where I would run into the fire, and I don't mean like literal fires, but I remember a time like my friend Mark, he was helping me out, and somebody was shooting up the street from our party, but it was messing up our party. It was making the whole neighborhood hot. I wanted to continue to do events. I was like, you know what? I'm about to go up here and fight this dude. What a bad decision that was. But my friend and another guy dragged me into the house by my neck, bro. Like literally by my neck into the house and told me to stop. Stop trying to crash out. Like, why are you doing this? That's stupid. And that's what he told me. He's like, you being stupid. You being stupid. And he was right. I was being stupid. Cops came and we shut the whole house down. We turned all the lights off. We told everybody to be quiet. We had a whole bunch of money. So, like, if somebody came into the party, it'd be somebody standing there with mark their hand, put the money in your pocket. We had three of us, four of us, had money in our pockets. We came upstairs, ran up the stairs, dumped all the money out of our pockets, just dumping all the money out. And then we put it in a closet. You feel me? But since they didn't have a warrant, they was just like, hey, like we heard a lot of commotion was going on. Some people said it's coming from this house. We said we didn't know what they was talking about, bro. Wild times that we used to live in. And I never, ever, ever considered the future during that time. I mean, the only reason my friend became an accountant was because I said, "Hey, bro, you count money fast," and I thought I might go to school to be like computer science wizard or something like that. But that was never my strength in the first place. But I had no guidance to tell me anything. You know, Google, AI, bro, it wasn't around in 2009. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just had to move through things blind. Like YouTube wasn't a thing where it's like I can YouTube it and then see what it's about first before I get into it, or having smart ways to do stuff. I don't know how long Reddit has been around, but I don't remember being on Reddit at that time. You know, I don't remember none of that stuff, bro. I don't remember. But I remember Bitcoin when it first dropped, and I was like, dang, I want to see if I can buy some Bitcoin. I was trying to buy Bitcoin in 2009, but I didn't know how to use the dark web. You know, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to set that stuff up. It was way more complicated than it is now. I can tell you that much. But with that being said, now I'm 34, and I'm looking back at people who are 24, and these people have been making 20. I mean, not 20, but like $100,000 since 24. You know, isn't that crazy? Like somebody would be making 70, 80K at 22. And I thought to myself, like, what would I have done with that kind of money during that time, bro? Like, what kind of experiences could I had during that time? And so a part of me feels a lot of regret because, you know, I didn't graduate from the D1 school. I feel like a little bit of an imposter when I'm in some of these rooms. And I know that I just got to work my head off to, like, kind of catch up. But I'm thinking, like, bro, people have been playing this game since they were 23, bro. So I can see why, like, somebody would have a house, a family at my age right now. I can see why. And I just wish I had the knowledge earlier in life. But again, they didn't grow up in the same areas I grew up in. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, bro, you just don't know what you don't know. And I don't really have any regrets about how I lived. Sometimes I do have some small ones, but I also think on the bright side, I wouldn't know who I know right now if I had went down a different path. Who knows where I would have been down at a different path? I mean, even with the dice roll, bro, like if that girl when I was 28 didn't have a miscarriage, I'd be a father. You know what I'm saying? I would have been a father already. It's just something I would have had to accept. And that wasn't in the cards for me though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what God intended for me, gang. But at the same time, like I just think about it long and hard all the time. Like, bro, I've been very fortunate, but I just wish I would have started earlier. And the reason that I didn't is because I didn't even think I'd be alive. I never really thought I would be alive past 25, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. I never thought I would live past 23. I just didn't think that. I didn't think that, you know? And looking back at it, it was something that I really don't know about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I was thinking. I don't feel like I was even conscious until I turned 25. And I didn't start thinking about the future until like last year for real. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just like, yo, I want to move to Japan. Like that was the first time where I started thinking like, yeah, like I want to go to another country, you know? The first time I went to Japan, it was an eye-opening experience. I realized like I'm a completely different person over there. Whereas over here in the city, I'm very on guard. I got, I got a tool on me every single where I go, every single place I go. You know what I'm saying? I always got it on me. I'm always looking around. I always am cautious of who's gonna be coming around, where I'm at. Like I just be thinking about it a lot, bro. And you have to be that way in America, unfortunately. It's just the climate that we in. But I just never thought I would really make it here, bro. Never thought I would make it here. And I had plenty of homies that died. Rest in peace to them. Plenty of homies that don't got shot, went to jail. I don't even know nobody no more. But it's just crazy how you end up somewhere. So, like, if you're watching this, man, and you're somewhere right now that the situation is not ideal, it's not gonna be like that forever, bro. And I'm living proof that it's just not gonna be like that forever, bro. It's not. But it is also very surprising when you get to that spot and you just like, dang, I legitimately don't know how I made it here, bro. I mean, if it wasn't for God's grace, I don't know how I made it here. I literally don't know how I went from working at a taco spot to making six figures. It's just very, 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 very fortunate. Like super fortunate, bro. But that's all I got for you this time, bro. I'll holla at y'all boys.